guys, it's Lala. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this hairstyle. So keep watching. Alright you guys, now we're going to get started. To start, I like to pull the hair up so it's out of the way while I'm working. I braid the hair ahead of time so the process goes by faster. I don't like to stop, braid, work, stop. So preparation is everything for me. So right here I'm just inserting the crochet needle into her braid. I try to braid the braids just a tad bit loose so it won't pull at her hair when I insert it and wrap. So right here I'm attaching the Bobbi Boss new lock. Pull it through, grab the other end of the hair, pull it through, and now we're going to wrap over the hair, her hair. We're going to wrap to the ends of her real hair with the Bobbi Boss. With the Marley hair. Alright, so right here I'm going to attach the Marley hair. I just basically use a half a piece on this part of her hair because it's a tad bit shorter than the rest of her hair. So all you need is like a half a piece. You could basically just study it as you go along and see how much you need. As I attached it, I left a short piece attached, planted down on her real hair so we can wrap over that shorter piece so that it stays secure. And you'll see what I mean as I go along. I'm just looking for something to watch right now. Try to keep my clients entertained. See, I chose a Marion. Okay. So I wrapped over that short piece that I held attached to her real hair. And as I hold with my left hand, I just wrap as my left hand secures the hair. Just wrapping, holding her hair so that I'm not wrapping her hair onto the lock. So her hair is protected underneath what I'm wrapping. You do not want to wrap her hair, you want to leave it protected underneath. So I'm just going to wrap to the ends of her real hair. And as I get to the end, I'm going to use the little pieces that's left and wrap up, and then back down, then back up, and then back down again. And that's all I need to secure it. And then at the end, I just palm roll it. And that's it, you guys. So I'm going to do the same thing. Alright, we're going to work that crochet needle through the root of her hair. Pull the Bobbi Boss lock through her hair, and then pull the ends of her real hair through the Bobbi Boss lock. And then pull. There we go. So what I like to do is I just like to just insert every lock and then go back. I like to work step by step. That way things move a little faster. Most clients take me between 3.5 to 5 hours, depending on how long their hair is, because the braids is really the doing the braids is the longest part of the process, especially if the client has very long hair. Okay, I don't want to start sounding too repetitive, so I'm trying to give you guys new tips with each lock that I'm doing, but eventually I'm just going to fast forward through until I can teach you guys something completely new. As basically I'm just doing the same thing on every lock. So right here, did I? Yeah, I cut the Marley hair in two. If you do hair, you know that it comes one long piece, but because her hair is like shoulder length, I really don't need that much. So just plant it on there. I'm holding a shorter piece plant it on her hair with the lock. So I'm holding her real hair, a shorter piece. And just wrap over it. You guys, when you wrap, make sure those two fingers right there, my thumb and my index finger, is holding and guiding the hair along as I'm wrapping. You see what I mean? Like it's rotating as I'm wrapping. That's what's keeping the lock in place. Because without those two fingers, the hair will be all over the place. And if you notice, her hair is a different color underneath. So as I went along, I tried my hardest to cover the colored pieces, but it's inevitable that some will show. But she loved it nonetheless. Yeah, so you guys, I'm doing the same thing. I'm not wrapping super tight, but I do wrap it a few times at the root to ensure that the lock will stay and it won't unravel from the root. And I try to wrap over the same place twice and just keep moving down the lock. Just so the hair won't slide and you know that it's securely covering the hair, her hair. With my camera angle, you guys might not be able to see how I'm doing the end. So as I work my way up to the top, I get a better angle to explain that to you a little better. But I'm just gonna fast forward through this part, you guys, because it's just getting repetitive at this point. All right, I'll explain this last one again. You see, I'm cutting it in half. I'm using some edge control just to make sure the edges look nice and neat. Those edges are eventually gonna slide out, but I like my clients to leave looking really clean and polished. So I like to wrap everything up. But once I get to the top, I'm very sensitive on their baby hair. I don't try to snatch all the edges. My clients keep their edges. If you notice, I'm wrapping over the same spot twice, 2 or 3 times before I keep moving further down the lock. I'm going pretty fast, so you might not notice, but if you slowed it down, you would notice I'm wrapping over the same spot 2 or 3 times so the lock won't untangle. Just use little pieces at the end and work your way up and down until it's fully sealed. And then once you palm roll, um, that should blend everything together. See, her hair is like blonde underneath. I hate that that's showing, so I just use the same method in the middle of the lock and just work my way down to try to cover those blonde pieces. And then once I got that all covered, you guys, it's pretty much the same thing going up. Okay, now that I'm all done, I'm going to be using mousse all over her hair. I just use like a palm size amount, maybe 2 palm size amount of mousse, and just Rub it all over just to tame any flyaways there might be. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory. And after that, I'm just gonna cut away all the flyaways, the very long flyaways that the mousse can't tame. I try to just cut it away. I'm not cutting her hair. All of her hair is protected underneath the lock, so yeah. So what I'm doing right here is just making sure all the locks are intact and none of the locks are unraveling. And as I mentioned before, she has blonde hair, so I'm trying my best to cover as much of her blonde hair as I can. When I first started doing hair, I would not do this step. I would skip this step and I would have more complaints from my clients. But as you become more of a professional, you know how imperative it is to make these final touches so you have less of a complaint rate from your clientele. Alright, you guys, now that I'm all done, I'm going to be spraying her down with some olive oil. This olive oil brand has coconut oil in it, so it smells amazing. I always get compliments from my clients. I'll leave all the products in the description below. Alright, you guys, so right here I'm just styling the client's hair. I like to part the hair right behind the ear so it gives the hairstyle a little bit more symmetry. And as you can see, I'm correcting any flaws I might see so my client leaves completely satisfied. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. One love.